Right, ready to do some more work on my K0 CB750 which I've imported. When it arrived, it came, I said it'd been chopperized with this, I don't know if they call it a Bates style headlight. It's got the right kind of indicators but the wrong kind of brackets. I've now got it off the bike. I want to put it back to standard. I'm not doing a full restoration at this point. What I want to do is, as much as I need to do to have it running, but obviously if there's things that will help for the future mechanically, I'll do them. So I haven't got a headlight. I did manage to buy a headlight bowl. It was red and I've undercoated it mostly so that I can see where I need to put some filler. I also managed to buy the 3 parts that make up the rim. And this is a bit like a Chinese puzzle. So what I've done, I went through the parts manual and looking at what size of screws and things are needed, I managed to buy, for this and for some other projects, all the different sizes that I think I might need, including those little spacers that go in around here. They're not actually the proper spacers, but I'm going to make them something else do the job. So I got them from Spalding Fasteners, yeah, a place in Lincolnshire. Give them a shout out. So throughout this clip, what I'm going to be doing is various bits on the headlight bowl using screws and things, just to try and make it all come together. Like I said, you get these parts and they are pretty much like a Chinese puzzle. It'd have been nice if it had all the screws and things. But as you start to look around, you can start to work out which goes where, I think. So this goes in and it's got a little slot. Which I'm just missing. Oh no, I'm in. It's got a little slot like that. These screws that hold this together, it clamps the bulb in here. They are 3 M3s, 3 by 10 millimeters. So I've got plenty of them. Right. This part is for the adjustment when you've actually got it on the bike and you want to adjust that way. It's a screw on here that comes through from the outer rim. So this lot then goes into this with these parts matching up to those ones. So let's have a go. And that's got to go where the little hole is. Yeah. Now, can be a little bit of a fiddle to just get them in. Get in there. No, not quite getting there. No, no, they're still on the outside of that one. Let's try. Oh, there we go. He says. There we are. We've got it in now. So once I've given them a good clean, the screws that hold this to this, they're the 5 by 16, yeah, M5s. And these things, which I think are called rivet nuts, I've cut one down. They're going to actually be the spacers. I'll give everything a clean. I've put some rust proofing on the bits that had a bit of rust on it. I've got all my screws together. I found a nice General Electric bulb. Now this came actually with my 72 Bonneville And I did check that it does actually work, which surprised me because the bike had probably been sat outside for 30 years. And like I said, it's a bit like a Chinese puzzle, and I'm hoping that I'll put it together in a reasonable way. On the bulb it has some tabs, and these match into the cutouts on this part. Right? So, you know, pretty much you've got to put it right, but it doesn't look like it's going to go until you've fiddled for a while. So, first of all, I'm going to pop that into there. I'm going to take this section, and this goes on the outside of the bulb, and I've got to match up those sections there. Yeah, can you see how it locks in, and it will only go one way. Now this has got the little tab there, so I need to get that into the right place, and that goes, I'm sorry if you can't see this close up, but I think you get the general idea. Right, so we've got that in. So these are, from recollection, M3 10mm, and they're coming from the outside, fall on the floor. This is where you need a prehensile thumb. Now I know purists will say they're not GIS, but I'll tell you what, if you're looking that close, you need to get a better hobby. They're stainless steel, so they needed a little bit of lubricant on them, because stainless steel can be quite a problem. It can gall. In this instance, I don't think that's going to be much of a problem. But if you're doing bigger nuts, what I don't want to do is cross-thread them or make them too tight. It just needs to be enough. Right, eh? Look at that. Quite pleased with that. Now then, the next thing to do is this whole bit goes into there. Now there is a little hole for an adjuster, and the adjuster goes to that. So pretty much there's only one way this should go in. So let's get that in there first. And it's one of those things that it's made like it'll never go in, and then suddenly it will. There we go. Now, to hold this together, there are, he says, these two at the end, I think, are the ones I'm looking for. No, these two at the end. And for these, I have got some M4. Again, 10mm, just to go into there. I've put lock nuts on. Well, I'm going to put lock nuts on. Alright, okay. These ones, M4, and these are a 7mm. I've decided to use locking nut, because this does want to have a bit of movement in it, and if you completely fastened it up, it would make it difficult for the adjustment. So a 7mm spanner. Before I go mad with that, let's make sure I can get the other one in, and the adjuster, because I'm a bit worried about that adjuster. No, that's in okay. told you, it's like a Chinese puzzle, this. It's actually quite satisfying when you get parts that you don't really recognise to all come together, especially when you've bought a number of them. Right, so that is a swivel that allows side to side movement. Obviously, when it's on the bike, you can move the whole headlight body up and down, but the side to side you can't. So for that, I got a 30mm M4, again with a lock nut, and I couldn't find the right spring. I've actually got one on order. So what I did, found a pen, took the spring off and cut the ends off, pulled it with my fingernails onto a screwdriver to make it so that it'll fit over this, because the standard pen ones do not fit over an M4, and I think that'll be absolutely fine. I will order a compression spring to do this, but I bet I never fit it once it arrives. So now this goes into the hole there with the spring on. And it's going to come to the nut here. Now, the nut for this one, you might not be able to see, it fits into a slot here. So I've actually ground down flats so that it will hold itself steady. So let's see if we can get this in. Again, quite fiddly. And if the spring ends up being too long, I'll be furious, because I was worried about it when I was cutting it down. No, it looks like it's going to be fine. So I'll get the nut on there, screwdriver on there. That's going to be fine. Again, I've used the lock nut, the nylock, so that when you tighten it, it will stay done up. So now we've got that all together. Let me just tighten these up. I'm not going to go mad. You don't need to be completely tightened up, because you do want some swivel, but not too much. So just back that off a titch. Just finished tightening these off. Just so that they're gripped, not so that they're too tight. And then the adjustment, well, for now obviously it's not on the bike, so what I'll do is I'll make it so it just looks equal. If you can see at the moment, it's in there and out there, so pop that on, screw this in, I'll laugh at myself because I'm going the wrong way, screw it back out. That's a bit messy, but it might be I need a longer screw than this. I don't think it says in the parts manual exactly how long. Ah, that's better. Right, so we need to have it so that the spring is holding it right. That's near enough for now. I will have to adjust that a bit later. So, we're there. For in, adjustment, spring on. Might need to get a longer one for that. The final bit, let me just move the glass of refreshment. My niece by marriage, who lives in Ohio somewhere, made this and sent it over for me, yeah, with a RASH emblem on. Isn't she a love? So, make sure we get this the right way around. Lump on the top, extra bit on the top. This goes on like that. Needs a little bit of easing. Always best to try these things before you've properly painted them, because there's nothing more soul destroying than destroying new paintwork. Right. And then the simple thing is, these spacers that I've made slip into those holes there. Made them out of the rivet nuts. The screws will go in there. Just make sure it lines up. Appropriate screwdriver. No, we haven't got it yet. Just move that across a bit. It's always best to have a bit of patience with these things, because the last thing you want to do is cause damage that you can't then repair. Right, I think we might have it that time. Well, not to worry. I'll fight with that in a little bit, rather than keep holding everything up. So, basically, that's all of my headlight together now. I need to paint it, obviously, so I won't put it fully together and take that off. I need to find a longer, so probably 40mm M4 for the adjustment. But other than that, it's all looking good. So that's it for now with the CB750 K0. I'm not quite sure what I'll look at next, but I'll make a video of it when I do.